question presented by Greenply, powered by Honda Elevate, Reliance Terra, co-powered by UBI.
कांग्रेस और उसके गठबंधन गठबंधन ने हल्ला बोल शुरू कर दिया है। इन्होंने घोषणा की है कि ये सनातन को जड़ से मिटा देंगे। कुछ वोटों के लिए तुष्टीकरण की पराकाष्ठा को राजस्थान का समाज अच्छे से समझ रहा है।
As anger mounts over the Sanatan abuse, the Prime Minister slamming the Congress, he says limits of appeasement have been crossed.
कांग्रेस को अब कांग्रेस के नेता नहीं चला रहे। अब कांग्रेस एक ऐसी कंपनी बन गई है। कांग्रेस का ठेका अब कुछ अर्बन नक्सलियों के पास है।
In the poll-bound state of Madhya Pradesh, the Prime Minister says urban Naxals are running bankrupt Congress on a contract. Agencies on an all-out crackdown against Khalistanis. The NIA identifies radicals. The Punjab police also conducts raids. It's a big development ahead of 2024. The AIADMK breaks ties with the BJP, exits the NDA in a unanimous resolution. The Canadian Prime Minister is facing flack as the world questions him for honouring a Nazi veteran. The Indian women cricket team scripts history as they defeat Sri Lanka and bag the second gold medal for India at the Asian Games. Hello and a very good evening. The show is called The Burning Question and I'm Deepthi Sachdeva. Urban Naxals. This isn't a new word. You know, in the political jargon, in the political vocabulary of the country, the first time around we heard this word was in the year 2015. This was during the Delhi elections. And this is a term and a word that was used against the AIADMK party, particularly Arvind Kejriwal, by the BJP. But then the BJP lost that election and many said this hasn't gained much currency and this is a term that the AIADMK party decided to ignore and they decided to hammer the BJP at the hustings. But then that's not the only time that this term, urban Naxals, was used. Time and again, you have seen this particular word, now a part of our lexicon, that has been used time and again to hit out at multiple people, multiple political parties, and essentially at those who are considered disruptive, essentially also against those who are said to be against the interests of the country. Now, not very long ago, during an RTI reply, the Union Home Ministry said that they do not recognize a word like urban Naxals. So people did realize that this is something that is again just, for political game scoring, for one-upmanship. The term has been used again today. The term has been used by the Prime Minister against the Congress. The Prime Minister has been campaigning. It's been a hectic day for him. He started with Madhya Pradesh, then he was in Rajasthan and then in the national capital, and he's had a number of these activities. Listen in carefully to what the Prime Minister said about the attack on the Congress. The Prime Minister says the Congress has lost all its willpower. Grassroots leaders of the Congress, he says, have been sitting quietly. Their mouths, he says, are locked. Then he goes on to say, the Congress was ruined. Then they become bankrupt. And now they have given their contract, as in theka, to someone else. Then the Prime Minister says the party is no longer being run by its leaders. It's outsourcing everything from slogans to policies, and this contract, he says, is with some quote-unquote urban Naxals. Now, what does the Prime Minister using this term today mean? This is again a direct and a scathing attack at the Congress. But not just this, the Prime Minister spoke about the Women Reservation Bill. He said the Congress has been largely reluctant about it. He spoke about the new Parliament. He also spoke about Sanatan Dharma. He said the Congress is guilty of appeasement. Rahul Gandhi was also campaigning in Chhattisgarh, where again he's taken pot shots at the government. The political season, ladies and gentlemen, has well begun. There are salvos being fired from all sides. And like I said, in these winter elections that you'll be looking at the states of Rajasthan, in the state of Madhya Pradesh, in Chhattisgarh, in Telangana and in Mizoram, 3 big states have a direct Congress versus a BJP fight. Is that the reason why the Prime Minister has put out that scathing attack at the Congress? The Prime Minister also does realize that you'll have the AIADMK alliance bloc, but at the nucleus, at the core is the Congress. And we must always remember that of the 543 Lok Sabha seats, there are 200 seats, 200 of them, where you have a direct contest between the BJP and the Congress. And to ensure that the AIADMK alliance does better, the Congress, ladies and gentlemen, has to do better. The BJP clearly does not want that, but what we'll do now is we'll put out an excerpt of what has happened through the day. And just before I forget, you have also seen a huge setback for the BJP down south, in its mission south, where in Tamil Nadu, its once ally, the AIADMK, has decided to part ways with the BJP. What does all this mean? Where does the so-called unity on all sides stand? Which side has the edge come 2024? This is just a quick primer to give you an insight of what has happened today.
राजस्थान के लोगों ने कांग्रेस के कुशासन से मुक्ति पाने का बिगुल फूंक दिया है।
One day and 2 big rallies. The Prime Minister has sounded the poll bugle in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan.
माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी श्री नरेंद्र मोदी
In both the states, he launched an unsparing attack on the Congress party.
कांग्रेस का ठेका अब कुछ अर्बन नक्सलियों के पास है। कांग्रेस में अब अर्बन नक्सलियों की ही चल रही है। ये ग्राउंड पर कांग्रेस का हर कार्यकर्ता महसूस कर रहा है। जहां कदम कदम पर करप्शन हो, जहां लाल डायरी में काली करतूते हो, हर कोई कट और कमीशन में व्यस्त हो, वहां कौन पैसा लगाना चाहेगा?
But it is losing allies in states it needs the most. AIADMK has broken ties with the BJP.
What we are able to understand is that the AIADMK and BJP have ended their alliance. I mean, the AIADMK essentially has pulled out from the NDA alliance, and that is all because of just because of their unhappiness and dissatisfaction that they have with the state leadership. There was a request placed by the AIADMK, according to sources, very close sources from the high command of this party.
With the paradigm shift in the political dynamics, what will the 2024 elections hold for the BJP and the INDIA bloc? Bureau Report, Republic TV.
मोदी 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 श्री नरेंद्र मोदी
So who really are these urban Naxals? Why are they still free? If there are any urban Naxals, according to what the Prime Minister today has said, let's open up this entire conversation, and a lot to ask even the Congress, because Nikhil, the Prime Minister has said that these are leaders born with silver spoon and they use poor colonies as the location for their video shooting. Clearly, they do not connect with the grassroots audience. Guru Prakash is a spokesperson of the BJP with us. Brij Mohan Srivastav ji, spokesperson of the NCP. He represents the Ajit Pawar faction. It's good to have you, Brij Mohan ji, on the show after a long time. Ram Kripal Singh ji is a senior journalist. Nikhil Jain is also a political analyst with us, and Irsan Trivedi is a political analyst, and he's completing our panel. Gentlemen, good evening to all of you. Guru Prakash, let's ask you, the last time, I think the first time in fact, that the word urban Naxals was used in 2015 against the AIADMK party. Now, the Prime Minister today says that the Congress has outsourced everything from slogans to policies. The contract it's with some urban Naxalites. So, Guru, who really are these urban Naxalites?
A very warm good evening to you and all my fellow panelists. We need to understand a couple of things. So, who are these urban Naxalites? That's a very important question. You would very well remember from 2004 to 2014, there was a body called NAC, National Advisory Council. It was a super cabinet. People there enjoyed full power and zero accountability, full autonomy but zero answerability. Those precisely, all the members have had established links with urban Naxals. What is urban Naxalism? People who are interested, people who have stakes within the breaking India forces, people who are not happy with the rising and aspirational India, people who are not satisfied when India becomes the first country to reach the southern pole of the moon, people who are not happy when India becomes a country that hosts such a grand G20. People are not happy when on behest of India, the African Union becomes a member of the G20. People who are not happy when India becomes the fifth largest economy in the span of just 9.5 years, when in the last 65 years, under their rule, India was the 10th largest economy. These precisely are the people of breaking India forces, and these precisely are the urban Naxals.
So, Guru, you've listed out symptoms, but what is the disease? I mean, what is the name of these people? I would want to know who really are these urban Naxalites in the Congress, and then we'll ask Nikhil why isn't anything being done about it?
Your viewers would very well understand and appreciate that senior leaders from the Congress party, none other than former external affairs ministers like Mr. Salman Khurshid, Mr. Manishankar Iyer, they went to Pakistan and challenged the democratic processes, democratic institutions of the country. They said in Pakistan, and I quote them, "आप मोदी के खिलाफ कुछ करिए, हम लोग कुछ नहीं कर पा रहे हैं." This precisely is anti-national.
Where is the proof?
This precisely is the breaking India forces. You have to understand, Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Mr. Rahul Gandhi goes on a foreign...
Let him complete. Let Guru complete, then I'll allow you a rebuttal. Yes. Rukiye, Nikhil, let him complete his point, then you can counter him. Guru, complete your point.
Oh, no. This is the sanskar of the Congress party, and we are now used to it. Congress party, when they don't have any logic, when they don't have any fact, कोई तथ्य नहीं है, कोई तर्क नहीं है, तो बीच में हस्तक्षेप करते हैं, but देश उनके संस्कारों से अवगत है. You have to understand, Mr. Rahul Gandhi goes on a foreign soil and questions the autonomy. India today has become the fifth largest economy. On the initiative of India, International Yoga Day is happening. On the initiative of India,
so anyone, Guru, you're saying who's disruptive, who's working against the country is an urban Naxal. But as far as I remember, an RTI reply that came in from the Home Ministry actually said they do not recognize words like urban Naxals and the Tukde gang. So, there is obviously a lot of political lexicon that is being used by a lot of people against each other. But Nikhil, respond to these charges that Guru has made. The point is that when the Prime Minister says that the Congress was ruined, then they become bankrupt, these are leaders born with silver spoon, poor colonies are the location of video shooting, it is actually not wrong. I mean, a lot of people will agree with this narrative that the BJP has been able to establish against the Congress.
Deepthi, the BJP may be winning elections against the Congress, but for the Prime Minister to call one political party bankrupt and then continue talking about that party all the time either shows that the Prime Minister is only interested in things that don't matter, or it shows that the Prime Minister is lying to the people of the country. He knows how important Congress is. He knows the fact that the Congress is going to win this election in Madhya Pradesh, and he's just trying to create a false air. So far as what the BJP spokesperson said about the NAC, I would ask
but
him
even
to read
Rahul
the
Gandhi, Nikhil, the last comment that I heard from him where he said we could probably win Telangana, we are definitely winning Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, and he's not very clear or confident about Rajasthan. So, I'm
But
just
he's-
quoting his comment back at you. So, for you
First
to
of
say
all,
that the Prime
Preeti,
Minister
first of all-
scared of the Congress is quite rich right now.
No. We are having the discussion in the context of the election rally that the Prime Minister did in Madhya Pradesh. Rahul Gandhi clearly has come out and said that we are definitely winning in the state, as is pretty much every Congress person saying. And in fact, BJP people will say the same thing off screen. But I hope you can let me make my point without any interjections, because the BJP spokesperson wasn't interjected when he spoke. He talked about my sanskar when I interjected him for spilling absolute lies. May I remind him, sir, Ramesh Viduri ji, aap hi ke MP hain. What was he saying in the parliament a few days ago? And no serious action has been taken by your party or the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, who also happens to be a member of your party. So far as your comment about the NAC is concerned, read the name of the body again. National Advisory Council. They were not the cabinet. They only advised the cabinet. The cabinet chose to follow or not follow the advice out of its own merit, as is given in the constitution. Furthermore, I would like to make a few points about the Prime Minister's speech in Madhya Pradesh. He says that the Congress is the party of the dynasts. May I remind him that the biggest political dynast in Madhya Pradesh today is Jyotiraditya Scindia, the Maharaja of Gwalior, whose father, whose buas, God knows, the entire family is either a chief minister or a minister or a union cabinet minister or an MP. He is with the BJP today. So let's not make these dynast jibes. And honestly, I don't agree that Jyotiraditya Scindia wins elections just because he's a Scindia. He wins elections on his own merit, as does Rahul Gandhi, as does Ajit Pawar, as does Uddhav Thackeray. At the end of the day, all these leaders go to the people, get their vote. It is not some hereditary appointment or succession, unlike is in the case of Piyush Goyal, who was sent into the Rajya Sabha and made a minister because his father was a treasurer of the BJP, unlike Mr. Jay Shah, who happens to be the BCCI secretary without ever having played formal cricket or anything. And on the last point of the urban Naxals,
Nikhil, I must say one thing. The Congress has been trying to build this counter narrative again for some time. I don't even see that sticking around. So clearly there is a problem, and your messaging isn't then as smart, and people are not ready to believe the Congress, is what one would say. Before I get in Ram Kripalji and also Ihsan, I quickly want to get in Brij Mohanji. One question, Nikhil. Now you've completed your first point. There are other speakers who haven't spoken. I'm going to come back to you. Nikhil, I will come back to you. Please allow me that time. Brij Mohanji, I was listening into the Prime Minister today. In Madhya Pradesh, there is a long anti-incumbency. 17 years Shivraj Singh Chauhan has been the Chief Minister. Now the Prime Minister did not mention Shivraj Singh Chauhan even once. उन्होंने एक बार भी शिवराज सिंह चौहान का नाम नहीं लिया अपने पूरे स्पीच में. He only kept on saying, सर भाजपा सरकार. तो अपनी अचीवमेंट के बारे में बृजमोहन जी प्रधानमंत्री नहीं बता रहे हैं, लेकिन वो ये दिखा रहे हैं कि कांग्रेस और कांग्रेस का इतिहास, यानी बहुत सारे जो यंग वोटर्स हैं उनको दिखाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि देखिए अगर कांग्रेस आएगी तो ये सब वापस आएगा. So is that a confident BJP right now, Brij Mohan ji? And why is Shivraj Singh Chauhan not being promoted? His achievements are not being spoken in Madhya Pradesh.
देखिए कि it is not right time to speak on Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, but I want to quote the Prime Minister, which he has spoken today in Madhya Pradesh as well as in Rajasthan also. He is giving a clear-cut message to the young peoples. What he is saying, that the child who was born in 2004 is now become a voter, and he has seen only the BJP government in the state. So he is saying that see the development and compare this development with the previous governments which were governed by the Congress. So he is telling the young peoples, he is calling the young peoples to support BJP and the Prime Minister of India, because Prime Minister of India is having a vision for this country, how we have to develop this country, and he is calling the participation of the youth peoples with him.
Okay.
So it's very loud and clear that he is calling the new voters, young peoples, and he's telling them that I am capable to fulfill your dreams. We all will move further, and we will make this country in a most vibrant country of the world. So what he is saying this thing, or I personally feel that at this juncture it is not needed what Mr. Shivraj Singh has done, what Shivraj Singh has not done, why Prime Minister has not taken his name. It's having no meaning.
Should the BJP,
the voter is seeing and he is believing
should the BJP not
on
be
the Prime
proud
Minister
of a Chief Minister who's been ruling the state of Madhya Pradesh for 17 years, sir? 17 साल से सरकार है उनकी.
मैं इसे डिनाई नहीं कर रहा हूं, लेकिन ये भी तो बात होती थी कि प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने हमेशा ये कहा है कि मध्य प्रदेश में 2 इंजन की सरकार है। तो जब 2 इंजन की सरकार की वो बात कहते हैं तो निश्चित रूप से वो केंद्र की और आदरणीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी उस पूरे मामले में सामने हैं।
अच्छा।
तो निश्चित रूप से अगर वो ये इस बात को कहते हैं और अगर वो शिवराज सिंह चौहान जी का नाम नहीं भी लेते हैं।
एंड टू राम कृपाल जी, एक छोटा सा सवाल सर, एक छोटा सा सवाल अबाउट व्हाट अजीत पवार हैज सेड. Ajit Pawar does not attend the event that was presided by Amit Shah when he was in Mumbai. Then he makes a very interesting comment. वो ये कहते हैं कि मैं आज तो कैबिनेट में हूँ लेकिन कल का नहीं पता कि कैबिनेट में रहूँगा नहीं रहूँगा. So people are asking, is all well between the BJP and the NCP alliance? यहाँ पे तमिलनाडु में the AIADMK has decided to part ways with the NDA.
नहीं, दीप्ति जी, मैं आपको बहुत स्पष्ट कर दूं इस मामले में. एनडीए, हम लोग एनडीए के साथ हैं और अजीत दादा पवार ने ये जो अपनी बात कही है ये वर्कर्स के बीच में उन्होंने बोला है. वर्कर के बीच में उन्होंने उनको मोटिवेट करने की बात ये कही है कि हमको बहुत ताकत के साथ मतदाताओं की जिन मतदाताओं के साथ हम काम करते हैं, जिनके लिए हम काम करते हैं, उनके साथ जुड़ के काम करने की ज़रूरत है. और ये भी देखना होता है इसमें कि कोई भी आदमी जो पद पे है ये आना और जाना लगा रहता है. आज जैसे मैं जिस पद पे हूँ हो सकता है कि मैं कल इस पे ना भी रहूँ, ये फैक्ट है. इसका ये मतलब कदापि नहीं है कि अजीत दादा पवार ने कोई ये घोषणा कर दी है कि वो एनडीए से अलग जा रहे हैं या किसी प्रकार का कोई कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है. मैं आपको फिर कहना चाहता हूं, हम लोग एनडीए के इंटीग्रल पार्ट हैं और हम लोग महाराष्ट्र में एनडीए की सरकार की मुख्य भूमिका में. और आदरणीय अजीत पवार साहब लगातार इस मामले में महाराष्ट्र में सरकार के साथ मिलकर काम कर रहे हैं. हम लोगों को कोई गलतफहमी नहीं है. और वहां पे हमारे मुख्यमंत्री आदरणीय एकनाथ शिंदे साहब हैं. ये भी बात बहुत साफ है.
चलिए ठीक है ब्रिजमोहन जी, आपने आज तो बहुत सफाई से इसका जवाब दे दिया. बट क्लियरली लाइक दिस एनीथिंग एंड एवरीथिंग इज पॉसिबल इन पॉलिटिक्स. Irsan, you just have to give me some time because I want to get in Ram Kripal ji who's been listening in to all sides now. Ram Kripal ji, आखिर क्या चल रहा है? एक साइड भाजपा है जो बहुत कॉन्फिडेंट है. द प्राइम मिनिस्टर इज स्पीकिंग अबाउट विमेन रिजर्वेशन बिल. पार्लियामेंट, नए पार्लियामेंट की बात करते हैं. वो ये भी कहते हैं कि सनातन धर्म पे जो लोग अटैक करते हैं उनको जनता जवाब देगी. लेकिन दूसरे साइड जब वो मध्य प्रदेश जाते हैं, राजस्थान जाते हैं, ना वसुंधरा राजे की बात हो रही है ना शिवराज सिंह चौहान की बात हो रही है. तमिलनाडु में एडीएमके से भाजपा के रिश्ते अब टूट चुके हैं. दूसरे साइड कांग्रेस है. कांग्रेस आपको लगता है कि इस समय सबसे ज्यादा अटैक झेलेगी बीजेपी की तरफ से? क्योंकि अगर कांग्रेस ही मजबूत हो जाएगी तो शायद आईएनडीए अलायंस बेहतर करेगा. लेकिन अगर कांग्रेस अपना परफॉर्मेंस बेहतर नहीं कर पाएगी अबाउट 200 सीटों पे जहां उसकी डायरेक्ट फाइट है कांग्रेस के साथ, तो उसके बाद दिक्कत हो जाएगी.
निश्चित रूप से दीप्ति जी, मेरी बात जो मैं कहने वाला था, बहुत सारी बात आपने शुरू से कह दी है. आपने एक शब्द कहा था कि ये जो नक्सल बोला जा रहा है या जो इस तरह के एक्सट्रीम वर्ड हैं, एग्जैक्टली उसमें कहीं न कहीं थोड़ी पॉलिटिक्स है. लेकिन एक सच्चाई भी है, जो सच्चाई को मोदी जी अच्छी तरह से भांप रहे हैं. मोदी जी बहुत चतुर खिलाड़ी हैं और उनको मालूम है कि अब इलेक्शन का ईयर है, तुरंत होने जा रहा है, इसके बाद लोकसभा का चुनाव है. तो एक पार्टी का मुखिया होने के नाते जाहिर सी बात है कि थोड़ा बहुत जो भी वो बात कहेंगे सच्चाई होने के बावजूद उसकी एक पॉलिटिकल पैकेजिंग भी रहेगी. नक्सल वर्ड जो उन्होंने इस्तेमाल किया है, मैं उसको यूं कहूंगा कि देखिए ये बहुत क्लियर कट है. हिंदुस्तान की राजनीति में अब धीरे धीरे 2 धाराएं बहुत बहुत क्लियर कट हैं. मैं जिसको कहता हूं क्लासेस और मासेस लेवल पर, मतलब पूरे देश के लेवल पर आप देखिए 2 जगह है. तो जो यहाँ पर पढ़े लिखा तबका था, जिसको कि कुछ लोग पैरासाइट भी कहते हैं, तो पूरी दुनिया में, भारत में भी क्या हुआ कि वो एक लेफ्ट की छतरी होती थी जिसके नीचे इकट्ठा रहता था. वो जैसे जैसे लेफ्ट खत्म होता गया हमारे यहाँ से, वैसे वैसे वो उसको एंटी एस्टेब्लिशमेंट के साथ खड़े रहने के लिए कौन सी पार्टी बची? कांग्रेस बची. इसीलिए आप देखिए कि जेएनयू के कन्हैया जो हैं, जब वो राहुल की रैली के साथ साथ आगे चलते हैं तो बहुत से पुराने कांग्रेसी वो कह नहीं पाते हैं. उनको अजीब लगता है कि हम कहाँ जा रहे हैं. और देखिए इंदिरा गांधी के जमाने से भी कांग्रेस में 2 धाराएं हमेशा रही. एक लेफ्ट धारा जिसके इंदिरा गांधी के जमाने में मोहन धारिया, चंद्रजीत यादव और ये तबका होता था जो प्रो रशियन लॉबी थी, और दूसरी धारा होती थी जो राइट विंग की थी, जो चरण छूने वाले और उस तरह के जो थोड़ा सा हिंदू कल्चर, हिंदू की बात करने वाले। इंदिरा गांधी करती वही थी जो उनके मन में होता था। राजीव गांधी तक आते आते चूंकि राजीव ए पॉलिटिकल थे, वो समझ नहीं पाए। पहले तो लेफ्ट धारा जो उनके साथ गई, जो अपीसमेंट करती थी, उसने कहा साहबानों का बड़ा गड़बड़ हो गया है, मुसलमान नाराज हो जाएगा। तो राजीव गांधी ने घबरा करके वो नियम, उस ऑर्डर को ही बदल दिया। 400 सीटें थी। उसके बाद दूसरी जो राइट विंग थी वो आई, कही कि इससे तो हिंदू आपने जो किया, तो बोले क्या करूं, तो उन्होंने कहा ताला खुलवा दीजिए। शिलान्यास भी करा दिया राजीव गांधी। राहुल गांधी जब से या सोनिया जी आई, तब से वो जो सीपीएम और सीपीआई की जो माउथ पीस थे या उनके समर्थक थे, उनको कहीं पॉलिटिकल असाइलम नहीं मिला, वो कांग्रेस में मिला। इसलिए आज जो मोदी जी कह रहे हैं, पूरी दुनिया अपने और पूरी दुनिया से वो रिजेक्ट हो रहा है। वो लेफ्ट चला गया है कांग्रेस के साथ, वो इंटेलेक्चुअल क्लास, और निश्चित रूप से वो इंटेलेक्चुअल क्लास जो है, अब इसको कांग्रेस अपनी ताकत मानती होगी। मैं कह रहा हूं कि ये कांग्रेस के लिए सबसे ज्यादा नुकसानदायी होगा। एके एंटोनी कमेटी ने जो रिपोर्ट दी थी, उसने ये कहा था कि हमारा झुकाव जिस तरह से हम जा रहे हैं, जनता के दिल में कांग्रेस एक तुष्टीकरण की पार्टी बनती जा रही है। तो मैं आज की तारीख में कहूंगा मोदी जी इस बात को
बिल्कुल, ये आपने बहुत जी रामकृपाल जी, वक्त की थोड़ी कमी है सर। इरसान त्रिवेदी बोल नहीं पाए। इरसान, apologies to you, but I'll just give you the last word, Isan, on the show. Now, when this urban Naxal attack is being, taken against the Congress, do you believe that this could really get difficult for the Congress to explain? The AAP ignored this in 2015, but the Congress is not the AAP.
Ma'am, first of all, I am not surprised that Modi ji used this word urban Naxalites, because I mean he is trying, he's being desperate to, I mean, what he's doing is he's doing nothing but the damage control of his so-called Bibats Basa Vyawar or Jumla party. I should say in that way, because I mean he cannot speak about a BJP guy who is doing peshab on one particular Dalit guy. He is helpless about to speaking in that way. He is helpless that I mean some person in a Sansad, I mean he is just doing or using very, very foul and very bad language to one particular fellow Sansad guy. I mean, like, he cannot speak on that way. Even he cannot speak whatever in Madhya Pradesh, he cannot speak about Vyapam Ghotala which is happening. He cannot speak about mining Ghotala which has happened in MP. And he cannot use Shivraj Singh Chauhan's name. He cannot use Vasundhara Raje's name in Rajasthan. I mean, whatever he is doing that, I mean, like, there was a time when people were listening to Modi ji and respecting him in a way that, okay, whatever he is telling, which is true. But now people are seeing, I mean, he is saying that Modi ji in his speech doing nothing new, but I mean, just he is targeting Congress, which was, I mean, like, dynasty and all these things. He cannot speak on the achievements. Of course, on a nation part, I mean, it's a duty of government to do so. I mean, it is nothing like that. And if somebody is asking about Vyapam, he's urban Naxalites. If somebody is asking about, I mean, like, whatever happening, I mean, this is happening, which is bad, he's urban Naxalites. I mean, this kind of languages are telling that it is a desperation, it is a frustration and nothing else. And I respect Modi ji in a way, but of course,
San says the Prime Minister sounding and looking desperate and nervous. I have completely run out of time. Otherwise, Guru, I would have come back to you for a counter. But the election season, ladies and gentlemen, has just begun, and we are at Republic. We'll keep you ahead on everything that you need to know. I need to thank all my guests for their time, for their understanding, especially to Ram Kripalji for having weaved in that entire conversation about urban Naxal so beautifully. Thank you to all of you, gentlemen. On the other side, we are back with lots more.
Amity University is proud to present the Faculty Research Awards by Careers 360, acknowledging India's brightest minds in the field of academic research at Pradhan Mantri Sangrahalaya, New Delhi on the 6th of October as part of Amity's commitment to further research and innovation in our country.
3, 2, 1, we are now called as Republic. Republic Kannada here in Karnataka.
Republic Kannada has officially launched.
Today we dedicate Republic Kannada to the people of Karnataka.
Three, two, one. We are now called as Republic Kannada here in Karnataka.
Republic Kannada has officially launched.
Today we dedicate Republic Kannada to the people of Karnataka.
Three, two, one. We are now called as Republic Kannada here in Karnataka.
Republic Kannada has officially launched.
Today we dedicate Republic Kannada to the people of Karnataka.
Three, two, one. We are now called as Republic Kannada here in Karnataka.
Republic Kannada has officially launched.
Today we dedicate Republic Kannada to the people of Karnataka.
Three, two, one. We are now called as Republic Kannada here in Karnataka.
Republic Kannada has officially launched.
Today we dedicate Republic Kannada to the people of Karnataka.
Three, two, one. We are now called as Republic Kannada here in Karnataka.
Republic Kannada has officially launched.
Today we dedicate Republic Kannada to the people of Karnataka.
Three, two, one. We are now called as Republic Kannada here in Karnataka.
Republic Kannada has officially launched.
today we dedicate Republic Kannada to the people of Karnataka.
Three, two, one. We are now called as Republic Kannada here in Karnataka.
Republic Kannada has officially launched.
So today we dedicate Republic Kannada to the people of Karnataka.
Amity University is proud to present the Faculty Research Awards by Careers 360, acknowledging India's brightest minds in the field of academic research at Pradhan Mantri Sangrahalaya.
Trending burning question powered by Reva University, Century Ply Club Prime, Hyundai Alcazar and Creta, co-powered by ACO Insurance.
Hello and welcome. You're watching the Trending Burning Question with me, Shavan Sen. Ladies and gentlemen, India and Canada are dealing with an unprecedented diplomatic crisis which certainly has a political as well as geopolitical consequences. Now, Canada has made unsubstantiated public allegations of Indian involvement in the assassination of a Canadian citizen designated as a terrorist by India. The world is essentially seeking evidence as the only logical way forward from here. None seems to be forthcoming, essentially coming from Canada. India has branded these claims as absolutely absurd. Even Canada's defense minister has said that ties with India are of utmost importance. In fact, there's a Canadian military delegation arriving in the national capital tomorrow. This at a time when both the nations, their ties are in a tailspin. Meanwhile, here in India, a massive crackdown on the Khalistan network has essentially begun. Joining us on the Trending Burning Question tonight, our Ambassador Deepak Vora, Kirk Lyubimov, he's a strategic advisor, joining us from Canada. Dr. Joseph, he's an author and publisher, joining us from Florida, US. And Daniel Boardman, he's a journalist with the National Telegraph. Let me quickly take the first word from Ambassador Vora. Ambassador Vora, we met last time when you essentially raised concerns, questions about Justin Trudeau's baseless allegations. Several days have passed. New information has trickled in. They say that it was US who had provided the intelligence. If that's the case, what is essentially stopping Canada to make it public or perhaps even discuss this with the Indian counterparts? Because as I understand, Ambassador Vora, my sources within the intelligence setup has indicated that the Canadian National Security Advisor who was here in the national capital during the G20 did not utter a single word with regards to this particular case, and the so-called credible evidence hasn't been shared so far.
Thank you very much, sir. Always a delight to learn from you. You are part of my journey of learning. I'm 72 years young, and if I've shed my hair, that's because I'd gone to Guru Vayu temple. And therefore, blessings from the Lord Krishna to everybody who's on the show and the millions who watch your insanely popular channel. You are one of our best anchors. Sir, if you give me permission, I want to quote a tweet. This is in August of 2022. There used to be an Al-Qaeda character called Ayman al-Zawahiri, and he was enjoying the morning breeze outside his apartment. And then an American drone missile fired from that had taken off from Pakistan. It sent him to his 72 virgins or whatever he gets. Now, this was the tweet. And I just want to read this tweet so that we get a clear idea. The death of Ayman al-Zawahiri is a step towards a safer world. We will keep working with our global partners to counter terrorist threats, promote peace and security, and keep people here at home and around the world safe. Terrorists will be hunted down wherever they are. Do you know who made this tweet? You've probably heard his name, a fellow called Justin Trudeau. So what happens in 2023? if a fellow who's in Canada is eliminated, where has that bravado gone? And then all this talk about Five Eyes and the Americans telling him, I take you back to another interview with this kid who calls himself the Prime Minister of Canada. There he said, look, the Americans didn't tell us that they were going to take out this character. You know, the Americans don't share everything with us. Suddenly, the Americans have become our darlings. They are telling me everything. And then he had gone to the UN and he made a speech. He was asked by a journalist, Mr. Prime Minister, you seem to be alone. What's happened to your trademark smile, that artificial smile? It seems to be fading. He didn't have an answer for that. Look, I have no issues with this person, but he doesn't understand anything about diplomacy. Today, Canada is isolated. India and Canada are in a boxing ring. And Canada probably has two people that will support it. The rest of the United Nations. All their members will side with India. Sir, may I just say to you that I'm special advisor to 3 African governments. 2 ministers from those countries have sent me a message in Swahili that I speak fluently, and they have referred to Trudeau as Muzungu Ujinga, which means the mad, aimless wanderer who doesn't understand anything. And they said, look, India, you have stood up against these guys. Bravo. We are with you. What more can I say, sir? Let this guy, Mr. Trudeau, if you're getting my message, Mr. Justin, whatever, if you're getting my message, do your country and the world a favor. Go away, sir.
Well, Ambassador Vora, you're completely unstoppable, like always. In fact, Dr. Joseph, you've heard what Ambassador Vora had to say. I can't stop smiling right now. And Ambassador Vora, unlike Justin Trudeau, I don't have a fake smile right now. It's just the way you put it across. Dr. Joseph, Ambassador Vora also raises a very pertinent point at this point in time. Just in the backdrop of G20, as far as the role of United States of America is concerned, Secretary Blinken essentially says that India should be cooperating. India has never shied away from cooperating on any matter. But having said that, the United States of America also perhaps needs to understand what the Canadians are calling their own citizen. Let me just remind all our panelists here. We are talking about a man who goes inside Canada back in 1997 on a fake passport, against whom there are cases that have been registered here in India. The Interpol has already issued a red corner notice, Dr. Joseph, and Justin Trudeau says he's our citizen. The same very citizen who was on US no-fly list, the same very citizen who wasn't granted citizenship for a very, very long time. And what we fail to understand is that what exactly is Justin Trudeau batting for?
It's unfortunate. I believe the situation was made up to change the narrative from the failure in India to collaborate. You know, they wanted to get a one-on-one sit down with Prime Minister Modi. Didn't happen. The plane got stranded. It shows the investment or lack thereof in infrastructure in Canada. And then embarrassment. I believe all this changing the narrative was made to change the thought process about what need to be talked about to the media. So again, Prime Minister, I sit from a unique perspective because I sit in the USA. I was scheduled or I was selected as a member of the trade delegation coming to India in this Thursday or next week on the 8th. From hundreds of companies who applied to be part of the trade delegation. We were very excited. In fact, I've been talking to the Chamber of Commerce, in the province in Ontario, and they had several applications. We were chosen because we were export ready, and we were very happy to get this. Now we were hoping for multi-billion deals going on and hundreds of employment in Canada, and for this political expediency, we threw that away just for. If this need to be handled diplomatically, like Ambassador Vora knows, it shouldn't be spoken publicly. You handle it without solid evidence. If you have evidence, you take it to court and then punish the people who are criminals. Then we have a real proof. Right now, we have nothing. In America, we call it a nothing burger. We have no proof behind it, and it's all credible allegations. How can allegations be credible to start with? Canadian people are not with them. He has multiple. I have hundreds of employees in Canada, so I respect the office of the Prime Minister. But I can assure you that this is the most unpopular Prime Minister, which we have known in the past several decades. in Canada.
Well, we perhaps are trying to wrap around our head to really understand or decipher what does Justin Trudeau essentially mean when he says credible allegation. And I think so they've fallen in love with the word credible, but they haven't really gone beyond that. Daniel Boardman, I was actually going through the press received by Justin Trudeau, essentially the bad press, if I may say so. In fact, the press there, as I understand, is also questioning Justin Trudeau that why exactly would you be destroying a long-standing relationship with India? And let's not forget that it is not just India that needs Canada, but it is Canada that needs India more on various issues, be it for that matter trade, or be it for that matter any other linkage that we're really looking at. And so someone perhaps would think twice before really destroying a relationship which perhaps stands out for a very long time. Of course, there are also bloopers there too, but having said that, it's a relationship one would have expected that he would have taken forward.
I don't know if you guys can hear me. I can no longer hear you. But if this is a question about Justin Trudeau and our media, I can answer this hopefully. So yes, Justin Trudeau is deeply unpopular. We got a new poll that was taken from September 19th to 21st, sort of like when the scandal broke. And the Conservative Party is at 42%. The Liberals were at 22%. The NDP, I think, 17%. This is the first time I've ever seen the Conservative Party polling ahead of the combined weight of the Liberal and NDP parties. So the Canadian public did not react positively to what's going on here. In terms of the media, I would say the general Canadian media, mainstream media, still very much works as Justin Trudeau's press secretary. The Toronto Star, the CBC, the vast majority of what gets on Canadian television, because most Canadian television is pre-screened. It's unlike this great network and all the stuff here where you can come on and say what you want. They ask you what you're going to say beforehand, and then they say yes or no if that's going to make it to air. So it's pretty tightly controlled, the narrative from the media standpoint. But trust in the media for a myriad of reasons in the last years has eroded. And you're starting to see, I think, in Canadian media, the counter narrative start to slip out. It's definitely not the mainstream. Canadian media will always be, at least 50% of it will just take what the Liberal Party says and treat it as the news. And if you're wondering, why didn't Justin Trudeau think twice about what he's doing on India? Well, that implied that he's thought once. So I don't know where you ever would have got that impression. So, I mean, that's the general mood in Canada is, we're not happy to be so heavily embarrassed on the world stage. With the new thing, India is now recommending students don't come to Canada. Our university systems are a cash, like they basically exist to take foreign students' money, right? And that's how they get their things. A lot of it's China, a lot of it's India, and the university systems, those corporate entities, they're not going to like this, and there might be, sort of the ripple effects will hit those institutions in the years to come over all the Indian students choosing the US, Australia, and the UK because of this. And then, you go, what are they going to do? Are they going to get more students from China to come in? We already have tons of problems. I speak with professors who say they have Chinese students approach them and they cannot speak in class because they know that a bunch of their fellow students are in contact with the CCP back home. So that's not what we want. I've never heard that story from Indian students that they can't say something because the ISI or the NIA is up. That's never happened. So it's not going well for Canada on our side here, and it's not going well for Justin Trudeau, who has another scandal where he invited a literal SS Nazi to come into Parliament and got Zelensky into trouble for doing that. So geopolitical decision making from the Liberal government. If you have about 3 or 4 days for me to stay on, I can go through and we can outline all the mistakes. But I'm not sure the network would allow that.
Well, I've often wondered who exactly was really perhaps assisting Justin Trudeau, or even taking him through that very disastrous speech that he essentially made. But Kirk Lubimov, back in 2018, when Justin Trudeau actually visited India, which was touted initially, but later turned out to be a disastrous trip for Justin Trudeau. But one thing that was very interesting was a joint statement that was issued by India and Canada, a joint framework rather, as far as counter-terrorism is concerned and violent, tackling violent extremism is concerned. And what we found very interesting here in India, we thought that was, a step ahead. That was making a mention of the International Sikh Youth Federation, and second is Babbar Khalsa. That was largely welcomed. It was seen as perhaps a marked change on the part of Justin Trudeau, who did not follow the footstep of his father. But all of that went down the drain, and hoping that Justin Trudeau would have understood that if a Quebec independence referendum was carried out here in the national capital, I'm not too sure how exactly would Prime Minister Trudeau really respond if we actually allow any group who basically says, let's have Quebec referendum.
The problem is in Canada, they go a little further than that. Like you pointed out at the beginning, the individual like Nijar and Lord who knows who else has came here and stayed in Canada illegally. So there's a whole infrastructure here in play, and for Canada to be a security partner, we can't even secure our own borders. So this is a really big problem. And the other individual with Khalistani extremism ties that was shot by a rival gang in Winnipeg on September 21st also came here illegally with false documents. So it seems like to enter Canada with extremist background is as easy as it gets. And this is the big issue here. And Khalistan extremism is having too much of an easy time to build a base here and operate out of Canada. And I think this is one of the biggest issues here. And as Canada needs to be a partner to India, we can't turn a blind eye to it just for votes.
Well, in fact, the fact of the matter is that Ambassador Avora, I'm running short of time, but I would have loved to come back to you on this entire matter. We are certainly hoping that credible allegation has basically got onto the train, and hoping someday it's going to reach the national capital here in India, and we'll then start perhaps working. But I don't know when that's going to really happen. Let's hope, as many would say, that as far as the relationship between both the nations are concerned, it is important that they arrest this downfall. It isn't really good for any of the nations. Thank you very much, Ambassador Vora, Kirk Lubimov, Dr. Joseph and Daniel Boardman, for joining us on the Trending Burning Question. On the other side, the big debate with Editor-in-Chief Arnab Goswami.
Amity University is proud to present the Faculty Research Awards by Careers 360, acknowledging India's brightest minds in the field of academic research at Pradhan Mantri Sangrahalaya, New Delhi on the 6th of October, as part of Amity's commitment to further research and innovation in our country.
3, 2, 1, we are now called as Republic Kannada here in Karnataka.
Republic Kannada has officially launched.
Today we dedicate Republic Kannada to the people of Karnataka.
We are now called as Republic Kannada here in Karnataka.
Republic Kannada has officially launched.
Today we dedicate Republic Kannada to the people of Karnataka.
here in Karnataka.
Republic Kannada has officially launched.
So today we dedicate Republic Kannada to the people of Karnataka.
Three, two, one. We are now called as Republic Kannada here in Karnataka.
Republic Kannada has officially launched.
So today we dedicate Republic Kannada to the people of Karnataka.
Three, two, one. We are now called as Republic Kannada here in Karnataka.
Republic Kannada has officially launched.
So today we dedicate Republic Kannada to the people of Karnataka.
Three, two, one. We are now called as Republic Kannada here in Karnataka.
Republic Kannada has officially launched.
So today we dedicate Republic Kannada to the people of Karnataka.
Three, two, one. We are now called as Republic Kannada here in Karnataka.
Republic Kannada has officially launched.
So today we dedicate Republic Kannada to the people of Karnataka.
Sanatan politics becomes #1 issue. DM says Congress alliance wants to eradicate Sanatan.
कांग्रेस और उसके गठबंधन गठबंधन ने इन्होंने घोषणा की है कि ये सनातन को जड़ से मिटा देंगे, हमारी पहचान को मिटा देंगे.
Major blowback on Sanatan abuse. Debating tonight at 9 p.m. NIA plans major crackdown on Khalistani network. Why is opposition KG on a strong statement on terror? unite against Khalistan terror. Debating tonight at 10 p.m.
3, 2, 1. We are now called as Republic Kannada here in Karnataka.
Republic Kannada has officially launched.
So today we dedicate Republic Kannada to the people of Karnataka.
Sanatan politics becomes number one issue. PM says Congress alliance wants to eradicate Sanatan.
कांग्रेस और उसके गठबंधन ने इन्होंने